Okay, it's double refinement, and I'm going to make a artifact mythic using the feeder method. I've seen a ton of videos on YouTube that have bad information, misinformation, people doing it wrong, wasting points, wasting marks. This is the foolproof method to doing feeders for your artifacts. A couple things. First we're going to do is bring up our inventory screen. And I've already separated everything you're going to need here. There was a list at the beginning of the video, but basically I've got inside this Epic Artifacts pack, I've got the artifact that I want to make mythic. If it wasn't in this pack, I would equip it so that I don't accidentally use it as a feeder. And then next to that, since I'm going to be going with the Thayan Book of the Dead today, that's a stability artifact. I've got 5 stability artifacts right next to this. So we've got the first 2 are account bound. I looted these. Perfect use for account bound stuff, using them as feeders. And then I've got 3 more I picked up off of the Astral Diamond market about a month ago. You want to buy these early. The price is typically about 10K for these when it's not near double refinement. As you get closer to double refinement, I think right now they're going for about 30K in Astral Diamonds. You're going to need the artifact that you want to make mythic. You're going to need 5 feeders of the same type. So if it's stability, you need stability. If it's power, you need power. If the one you want to make mythic is union, then you need 5 union feeders. Then you're going to need 25 greater marks of potency, 6 blue marks of potency. In this case, because I'm doing a stability artifact, I need 11 greater marks of stability. I need 17 blue marks of stability. See, they're in different stacks here because I want to make sure I use anything that's bound first. So I've got my character bound stuff. I'm going to make sure I use those. And then you've got your lesser marks of stability. In this case, I need 15. And I need 5 marks of union, lesser marks of union. Then we're going to need just under 300,000 refinement points. You can get that a number of different ways. The best way to do it, if you have them, is with the stones that are actually for that artifact type. So stability stones. I'm using lesser stability stones. 60 of them gets it done during double refinement. You can also use enchantments or rune stones. Any level will do, but 17 rank 7s will give you enough refinement points to make this happen. One thing we want to look at real quick, and I'm going to take care of right away, is I have all of these unbound marks. Now, if I just let the system pick the marks, it's going to use the unbound ones and not use the ones that are bound. Since I want to make it use the ones that are bound, I'm going to put all of my unbound marks in a mail to myself, and that will get them off of the account. There are no bound greater marks, so you don't have to worry about graders. But blue ones and green ones, if you have bound versions, you want to use those up first. First character, then account. Alright, so now I've got rid of all of that stuff. I'm going to go back to the page that I started with, and I'm going to start making my feeders. So the first thing that we want to do is take our first feeder artifact and put our refinement points into that. So we're going to go select Refine, click OK, then we're going to add points to this. Now you'll notice that there's a whole bunch of stuff, and I have to scroll around and find these. A quick tip: if you put your points at the earliest empty inventory slot, right? So in this case, I'm going to move these out of the way of feeders. Put the feeders down at the bottom. This really isn't a big deal for feeder artifacts, but it becomes much more handy when you're refining enchantments and you don't want to have to jump around your inventory or jump around the screen picking what refinement items you want. Notice now it moved these much closer to the top. So I've got my refinement points. Normally you'd be worrying about a crit. If you want to try and shave off one or two of these through crits, then I would recommend spreading them out. In this case, because I know that I need just under 300,000, I'm going to put 300,000 in there. I'm going to put them in the first two spots. If I wasn't, if I didn't have enough points or I wanted to stretch my points, I might try putting a little bit less in each of these spots. So maybe try 10 in each spot to start. Try and get away with just doing 50. The crits might get me there. They might not. But the point is, I now have 300,000 points. I'm going to go ahead and hit refine. You see I've now got critical success. Now, I don't bother using a ward if I've got a 90% chance. I'd rather just burn the marks. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this. And it failed, so I'm going to burn more on a 90% chance. That gets you. So this one went through. Right, I've now got it to blue. This is your first feeder. You can see that it's ready to upgrade to purple. Don't upgrade your first feeder to purple. Keep it blue. Okay? Now you've got your blue feeder in your inventory. I'm going to take that. I'm going to move it up here. I'm going to pick, whoops, I'm going to pick one of my other account bound feeders. Right? And then I'm going to, this is feeder number 2. I'm going to go to refine it. And I'm going to take that blue one that I just did, that first feeder that I created. Where is it? There it is. I'm going to take that blue feeder, and you see it's now giving me 1.239 million points for that feeder. You need you need to ultimately create a feeder that's going to give you 10.5 million points. So right now I got 1.239 million points that I'm getting out of that feeder, and I only put 300k into it. If this crits, I might even get to skip a feeder. So we're going to go ahead and refine this. Now, to go from green to blue, I've got a 90% chance. Again, I'm not going to use up a ward on a 90% chance. It worked. I've now got blue. Now this time, for the second one and the third feeder, you want to take it to purple. Right, so because it's only a 50% chance, I'm going to use a preservation ward. And then we're going to try and take it to purple. And it went on the first try. So now we've got a rank 91. This is now our next feeder. So now we're going to take one of our Aurora's catalogs. We're going to put our purple feeder into that. Now you see for that same 300,000 points I originally got in, this feeder is now worth 4.728 million points. This is because during double refinement, there's a 10x affinity bonus. Normally, when you refine something that's already been refined into something else, you lose 40% of the points. In this case, you're still losing 40% of the points, but then you get it multiplied times 10 for the affinity bonus. If you do this outside of double refinement, you can still do it. You just make, you end up using 10 feeders and 600,000 points. You make yourself 2 final feeders. But the best time to do it is double refinement. When I refine that, you can see that it didn't crit, but I am way over. I'm going to go ahead and add, I'm actually not going to use a ward. Let me go ahead and upgrade that. Alright, we're going to take this one to purple as well. So I'm going to use a ward now because it's only a 50% shot. It worked, and now my rank 91 is a rank 99. Now, as with most of the stuff in Neverwinter on refinement, the higher the rank, every rank is 10% more points required, which is why it only takes 500,000 points to get yourself to epic, but another 10 million points to get yourself to mythic. All right, so we've got our second purple feeder. We're now going to take feeder number 4, and we're going to refine it. We're going to put that purple one into it. You can see it's going up a little bit incrementally. It's not quite as big of a jump now. But this one's worth 5.895 and versus what it was worth when we just did the previous feeder. Go ahead and hit refine. Go ahead and try to upgrade that. No ward for the first one at 90%. Next one's at 50%. We're adding a ward. This one's going to go all the way to legendary. Put a ward back in. The ward drops out once you have a successful upgrade. To legendary is only a 10% chance, so you might burn through some wards here, which is why I say at the beginning that you generally want a stack of 45 wards or so to try this. Alright, so now I've got a rank 112. You actually need a rank 118, I believe it is, to get to Mythic. So we're going to have to use this one as another feeder. So we're going to take our fifth and final feeder. We're going to refine it. We're going to use the legendary Aurora's Whole Realms catalog. You see, this is now worth 8.776 million. A little bit of a big jump there. This one's also going to go all the way to legendary, right? So hit refine. Upgrade the first one without a ward. Add a ward for 50%. Add a ward for 10%. And now we've got a rank 129. This is our final feeder, right? So if we did this, so now I'm going to go ahead and select the artifact that I'm going to turn mythic, which was a Thayan Book of the Dead. Alright, so now I have my Thayan Book of the Dead. This one happens to be epic already, but it doesn't have to be. If you're going to buy this off the Astral Diamond market, you could just as well start with a green one. It doesn't need to be epic. The extra points that are in it don't help me at all. So now I'm going to go and refine this. I'm going to take my rank 129 Aurora's catalog. And you see, I did crit on that first one. Didn't really help me avoid. You want to crit on the second or third one, and then you'll get to skip a feeder. But you see that this feeder is now worth 12.984. At the very minimum, you want it to be worth 10.5 mil. Right? So now this is enough to take this Thayan Book of the Dead mythic. Gonna hit refine. First one is a 10% chance to go to legendary, so I'm gonna take my wards. Alright, we got legendary, we still have a few wards left, we got a 5% shot, let's hope we make it in 15. And we did on the second shot. There you go. This item is now legendary. Sorry, mythic. And there you have it, the feeder method. We did it with 14 wards to spare. Hey, I hope this video was helpful. Polygon Paragons is always recruiting active players, all classes and levels, playing on the PS4. If you'd like to join, check out the new recruit page at polygonparagons.com.